Hey King,
Hey Queen, what's up, beautiful?
how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, you look fine.
You look beautiful.
Well, they don't see me, but thank you so much.
I see you.
I know that's right. Listen, we are doing something today that I think is needed because it's come to my attention that not only you, when you have your meltdowns about it, because you've been having meltdowns, but a few of your comrades are saying that you're being overexposed, okay? And like I explained to you yesterday, when you had your little meltdown and told me that was it, you're not doing the Burberry scarf and this and that, you're tired of filming, you need a break. And I explained to you yesterday that number one, you're building your platform, okay? How you build your platform, because I know you're not well versed with the internet, but how you build this platform is that you constantly have to put out content,
Right.
right? Now, you observed from the beginning when we started the videos that there were a few haters, a few haters. The haters quickly transformed into people admiring you. You're inspiring them. All you gotta do is read the comments. It's right there. Literally, people are saying, "I hated you. I thought you did something to Tupac, but you know what, guy? You seem to be a pretty decent person. I like you now." Literally, that's a comment. It's there. So that showed you, once I showed you these comments, that, well, my image is turning around. The whole point of us doing the platform is so we can dispel all the negative rumors and information that there is about the notorious King Tut. Okay, the guy that I know, the guy that I married, is a gentleman. He's classy. He's eloquent. Yes, he had a past. You're a bad guy. We all know that. However, there's different levels to it. And I think that what's been put out there about you has only cast you in a negative light. It used to drive me crazy when I would look on the internet and they would say things like the worst criminal in New York City history, and you would be on the list. Like, come on. Now, you agreed with me. And when you was behind the walls and I used to come up there, you agreed that when you came home, you would have your own platform and start putting out your own words and doing your own interviews. We talked about interviews. Told you about all the people that's gonna want you to come on their platforms so they can make money off of you and have you as the guest and their focus, and shall I say exploit, because that's what they would be doing, and it's fine. I'm not hating on you being exploited, but you're gonna exploit yourself. I gave you my platforms. So this way I squashed my own identity for you and made your platform something where you can come, put out content, talk to the people, and they can see a different side of you. And you can show all the positive things that you want to do. Now, I'm going to be quiet now, and I want you to, because people might think that I got a gun to your head for you to do this. And from that little outburst that you had yesterday, I think that we had to bring it to the surface so you can fully understand what's going on here. And also, before I stop talking, I would like to say people have to like, subscribe, and share. They have to share this platform so it can grow. We're not going to do any interviews. You're not going to answer any questions that they really, really want to hear until we see the numbers at least 20K. And that's a minimum. 20K, if you can get that to next week, then we'll do the video next week. We'll do the interview next week. And they're going to get all the answers about all the different situations and things that's on the internet, because that's really what the strangers want to know. People that know you know what it is, but we're talking to the world now, babe, and that's what I want you to understand. Now, how do you feel about this?
Uh, I think that the people who have read a lot of the things that I've done in my past, or probably heard stories from some of the people that I've done things with, or unfortunately to victims, from victims. I think that people have a right to feel the way they feel. I'm no angel. I was raised in the Brooklyn streets, and I made some terrible decisions to become a bad guy. And in becoming a bad guy, I honestly didn't know exactly what it all would entail. And before I realized it, I think I was in a little too deep. So, to anybody that I've ever victimized in the past, or anybody, family members who have been victimized by me, or people that's affiliated or associated with me, I would like to say sorry. I really, really apologize for my actions when I was in my state of ignorance. And next, I'm not used to being a guy who's in the face of the people. You know, I lived a bad life and a criminal lifestyle. So I had to move somewhat in silence and do everything in my power to be shrouded, you know? But now that I've changed up, even though I don't want to be on this forum in this manner, because, you know, when I was incarcerated and I started building myself up, I didn't do it just for recognition or any type of reward. I did it because I felt that it was the right thing to do. And when a person starts doing what's right, you got to learn to do it just because it's right. You know, a lot of us guys, we come home and we think that if I clean up my act, people should be happy, people should be proud, people should reward me. No, doing the right thing is supposed to be a normal thing that you do every day. But today, being normal, for us, we want someone to reward us for being nice, being kind, being generous, being respectful. And that's not how it is. So even though I'm uncomfortable doing what I'm doing, it's something that I've been doing while I was incarcerated. And you know, I just made a promise to myself, to my mom, to my wife, to my family, and to friends, and to people that are harmed, that I would never go back to being the bum that I was in the past. And I'm gonna be committed to that. You know, it's not an easy thing because so many people love you when you're in that state of arrogance, in that state of ignorance, and in that state where you feel that you don't owe anybody anything. But I realize that I do owe a lot. I owe a great deal. So I'm doing everything in my power to pay it forward. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, my wife, she's an incredible woman. I know she loved me from the bottom of her heart. But I was so saturated in them streets that even when she tries her best to help me change up my look and show that I've grown, because I've only grown internally and from doing what's right. But now she's shown me how to dress. She's shown me how to conduct myself. She's shown me a lot of table etiquettes and things of that nature. And it's hard. And sometimes I get frustrated. But it's rewarding also because I have somebody in my life that I know love me with everything they are and that only want the best for me. My plan was to just come home, if I ever did come home, because I wasn't sure if them 5 life sentences was ever going to come off. But it was to come home and just somewhat like lay low, but do positive things, but lay low. But my wife, she will come to me and she's on the internet and she will complain about so many things and ask me questions and investigate things. And it got to the point where I promised her that, listen, I know I got a lot of negative stuff in my past, but that's my past. But because I'm not in society, it looked like it's my present. You and me are together right now. And unfortunately, a lot of the things that I've done in the past are coming back to haunt you because you love me. And I know because of your love, you fight tooth and nail in my defense. And I really appreciate that. But I had to figure out a way to help her. So the reason why I'm on this platform today is because I just want to get some things corrected. You know, I want people to know the direction I'm going in. I want people to know some of the things that I did while I was incarcerated. I want you to know that what I'm doing is not just something I've done for myself. When a man who was incarcerated, who was a threat to society, changes, yo, he's a benefactor. Not only to himself, his loved ones, or his community, he a benefactor to humanity. It only takes one person with a terrible mentality to commit an act that hurts everyone. So let's take this serious. This is all about change and transformation. And I'm happy that I'm one of the guys today that you don't have to worry about putting a gun to your head. That I'm one of the guys today that you don't have to worry about taking your belongings or putting someone in your family in a terrible situation. I'm proud that I speak to other guys who are similar to me and growing up and who are kind of calloused and don't recognize the beauty of human life. I'm glad that I could communicate with some of these guys, soften them up, help them understand their own value and why they should value other human beings. That means a great deal to me because a lot of people are under the impression that we can't change, that there's no evolution. You see this book right here? A Second Chance? This is a judge by the name of Frederick Block, who was my judge. He sentenced me to 5 life sentences. Just like us guys, when we weren't out on the streets and we were a bunch of tough guys and we was tearing them streets up, we created a group of judges who were just as tough, who was just as callous, who was just as cold. And when they sentenced us like we weren't human beings because we committed so many egregious acts and we did not take anything. And, you know, we didn't regard human life or people's possessions as being their own. So what ended up happening, we created an environment that created a mentality that came back around to bite us in the ass. And this judge who sentenced me to 5 life sentences is the same exact judge who released me on compassionate release. Now let me tell you something. I thought that this man was the devil because I said to myself, I thought I was cold. The way he sentenced me and numerous other people, I thought he was a really, really bad guy after I got my time. But while doing my time, I had an opportunity to sit back and think about a lot of the things that I allowed to happen. I thought about how people feared me, how people did not trust me, how people were very, very uncomfortable when I came in their presence, and why people wanted me off the streets. When I was in the game, I couldn't see that because the more money you get, the more selfish you are, the more egotistical you are. You know, that's just part of the game and you thinking you winning. And don't get me wrong, you might win on a monetary and a materialistic level, but man, your value system, you're bankrupt. And that's what ended up happening. And while I was doing this time, thanks to this judge who finally released me, I came to meet me. because for all these years, I became part of a movement and of a group and of a mentality that put pressure on society. And we started thinking that the tough guys was the gunslingers, the hustlers, the people that preyed on their own people. And you know who the real tough guys are today? The men and women who get up every morning and go to work and pay their taxes. The mothers who take care of their children. No matter how hard things are, they try to make ends meet. The men who go out to service for our country, man, and do everything in their power to preserve our rights so we could have what we have in this country. Those are the tough guys. And I'm ashamed today because of the person that I was. And I want people to know that although I made a lot of mistakes, I'm salvageable. I'm a human being. And I help myself. And I'll help anyone that would allow me to. Just give me a second chance.
Well spoken, well said, bravo. This is why I need you to do this, because unscripted, from the heart, you just gave a word, a message that needs to be heard on this internet. And I thank you so much, my king. I love you. And we're going to end it, and we're going to continue on our journey, and we're going to build this platform. Please, guys, like, subscribe, share, hit the notify button. Y'all know the drill. Leave the comments. We got to grow the algorithm. We got to flood the internet with this positivity. Y'all going to get the stories. Y'all going to get the answers to your questions about the stuff that's already out there. But you got to be patient, and you got to grow with us. This is grassroots. We're not going to give this to anybody else that's trying to take from our culture. We are the culture, and we're going to grow King Tut's platform, Walter King Tut Johnson. And also follow him on Instagram. Same name, Walter King Tut Johnson. That's where the fun is at. It's a lot of pictures, personal pictures. I'm constantly taking pictures of the guy. He's irritated with me, but he loves me, as y'all heard.
Thank you, my
so
queen.
much.
I love you.
Thank you, my king. I love you too. It's a wrap.